Hello, my astrology friends. This is Lada from astrolada.com. And today we're talking about places of living and the environments. Everyone is interested. Where are they going to live a certain period in their life? Or overall, what is the ideal place for them? Or if they're wondering, they're trying to rent a place, but they can't choose between two, three places, or trying to buy a property, or trying to decide even whether to live in their country or abroad or in a small town or near mountains or near rivers. Astrology can be used for such extremely practical matters. It's not just about psychology, it's about the environments that we're going to find ourselves in. And it can describe, your horoscope can describe so well how your property will live, what type of property will be, what will be the neighborhood around. Maybe you live close to schools often or close to cemeteries. There are such patterns as well. Or maybe you live in bigger cities or smaller cities or certain periods of your life, depending on the transit. You might find yourself in a very different environment than what you're used for a few years till these transits last, and then go back to your normal environments. And each of the 12 signs has its own environment, its own place that it feels most comfortable in, and each of the planets as well. So I'm going to show you a very simple, quick, easy way to look at that. We'll look at two, three horoscopes. And actually, I've prepared a whole webinar of almost 4 hours where I speak about, and I give you written, and the video is 4 hours long about each of the 12 signs and the planets, including the North and South Node, if they influence your living environment, where you're going to find yourself in what environments. And this webinar is only $20 till the 1st of August. It becomes $30 after that. As I always tell you, I want to give my material for as cheap as possible so more people can access it. So if you want to, and you're going to have like a cheat sheet where every time you look at living environments, you immediately go to the sign that occupies your fourth house or the moon sign, and you can see all the environments. And I've taken the environments from ancient Vedic astrology and from modern Western astrology and from my own observations as well. And what are the things to look when we're looking? Where is someone, what kind of environments and home is one gonna end up living in? We always start with the fourth house. This is the fourth house cusp. You need to know your time of birth to know that. But this is the line, the icy, the line at the bottom of your horoscope, which says four. And this is your grounding, where you're grounded, where you're rooted, what you're used to living since childhood. And we look there at the sign. And if there is no planets, they're only at the sign. But if there is planets, the planets will overpower the sign as well, as you'll see from my examples. But the sign will also give us, so you'd look, if there is a planet in the fourth house or near icy, and you read what this planet is, say, if it's Mercury, it might be near schools, or it might be near roads or connecting things or parking. So if it's a Saturn, it might be in the old part of town or some historical building, for example, or near old people, old neighbors, for example. And I give you like that for all the planets, Pluto, Neptune, Saturn, what they indicate. And if you don't have a planet in the fourth house, you look at the sign, because each sign has its own environment. But then you look at the ruler of the fourth house. Even if you have a planet in the fourth house, the ruler should always be looked at. It always gives us a lot of clues. And you look at the sign that the ruler of the fourth house is in, as I will show you in a little bit. And then you read and you watch this part of the video where I speak about that sign as well. So you have more than one environment that ideal for you, that you'll find yourself living in. The sign on the fourth house, the sign of the ruler of the fourth house. Plus, you look if there is any planets next to the ruler of the fourth house. Say the ruler of your fourth house is Mercury, because you have Virgo there, and Mercury is conjunct with Pluto and Uranus. That will give you very different environments than if your Mercury is conjunct Venus, for example. So you see so many details, and also you look at the moon sign. Of course, the moon is where we feel most comfortable in. The moon is the home, and you combine a few of those environments, and you'll see that every time in your life you've lived usually in such environments and with such properties and homes. And also you can look at the ruler of the ascendant. The ascendant is the first house, which means you, and the ascendant ruler becomes you. And whatever sign that ascendant ruler is, you find yourself in such environments throughout your life. You might not even live there, but just might be surrounded by such environment constantly, often. And then you can look at the planet with the highest degree. It's called the soul planet. It's again a significator of the self, of your body, of your whole self. The planet, but only till Saturn, from starting from Moon, Sun, Mercury, Venus, Mars, Saturn, Jupiter, up to Saturn. Don't look at Uranus, Pluto, and Neptune. These are new planets because only the visible planets can be a soul planet. And when you find the highest degree planet, also look at its sign. Its sign will also show you the environments. But let me give you a few examples. And if you want to like get through all the 12 signs and planets and the environments and real life stories, I keep giving you in the webinar real life stories, how it played out, how the property of the person lived, what it was situated next to, so they can know. And I'll give you an example with my sister-in-law. Here it is. And this is someone who has multiple properties, three properties so far. And a few years ago, she came to me and she said, we are choosing a property we've chosen two properties. We can't decide which one. And I asked her, okay, tell me, where is it? And she said, both are at the seaside, by the ocean, by the sea. That makes immediately sense to me because Neptune, as you learned from the webinar, rules the ocean, the sea. So I said, great, you're supposed to have property by the sea. You have Neptune there. She says, yes, but they're both in the same town. They're both by the sea. So which one would be? And I said, okay, Neptune, what else can Neptune mean? I said, is there one of the properties is there swimming pool in the complex, which is Neptune as well? And she says, yes, one has a swimming pool, but the other doesn't. I said, does one of them see directly the sea? Which one is closest to the sea? And she said, okay, the same property that has the swimming pool. Then I said, okay, let's look even further because they're both at the seaside, you know. One has a swimming pool, which is even more Neptune energy, but let's see a bit more, you know. And I said, I'm looking here, Scorpio. I'm like, Scorpio, is any of them close to a cemetery? She said, no. I said, is any of them close to ancient ruins? Some kind of abandoned houses. This is one of the Scorpio energies. And she says, well, one, she started thinking and she says, you know what? They just, in front of one of the places she's choosing, found an ancient buried town, like an ancient burial place, even like ancient ruins. And I said, okay, does the other one has ancient ruins? And she says, actually, yeah, it's in the old part of the city. It has some ancient stuff near it. And I said, but which one is it closer to? And she said, again, the one with the swimming pool. The ancient burial site is right in front of it. Not burial site, but ancient buried city, because Scorpio rules something that's been dug out from the earth. I said, okay, let's try a bit more. Neptune also means like a holy place. Could there be like something, because in Bulgaria here we have like little churches or little temples for Christian temples around. Which one, or is, or, and she said, I don't know about temples, you know, nothing like that. So, okay, is there, what is the name of the streets? We're digging deeper. And she said, well, one is called, I forgot what the name was, but it was the name of some scientist or something, or some famous Bulgarian from before. And the other one is called Saint Stephen. I'm like, okay, that's so Neptune. Saint Neptune is saints or names of saints or name or churches or temples. Okay, so I'm saying this place is getting more points now. It has the Scorpio energy, the buried burial ground, the ancient ruins next to it. It's named after a saint. But I said, let's dig deeper. I looked at what is the ruler of Scorpio? Of course, we look at the traditional rulers because we're dealing here with tangible, objectable things that you can touch. So we only use the visible planets for places of living in environments. I mean, we can use Neptune and Uranus and Pluto to describe environments as well. But for the rulers, I prefer, and I've seen it works better with the traditional rulers. So I said, okay, let's see where is Mars, the ruler of Scorpio, your fourth house. So Mars for her is in Taurus, the first degree of Taurus. So I asked her, which of the two places has a garden or a green space with mm, that you can go out, that is kind of like there is green, there is trees, and says, oh, one place has just a terraces and is between other houses. The other place with the swimming pool has a big garden in front of it. And because Taurus rules greenery or big or gardens or something green to see. So I kept saying more and more points to that one specific place. And then I looked, okay, which planet is next to Mars? It's Mercury and Jupiter. It will give us more clues. So I asked her again. Mercury is like kids can play there, or maybe schools. She thought, she says there's schools to the other place close, but not to the other one. But there's a lot of kids in that complex what they're planning to buy. And I'm like, okay, this is Mercury. And I said, is there like a playground where kids can play? She said, exactly, there is. That's it. Okay, we have the Mercury energy again at the place with the swimming pool that is closer to the sea near the ancient ruins. Scorpio, Neptune, Mercury. And I said, which one has, because Jupiter means something big. I said, like big villas or wealthy neighbors. Because you read, like one planet can mean hundreds of things in environments. But like I was trying to imagine closest to where she was living. She says, well, again, the place with the swimming pool has big villas next to it to Jupiter, something big, wealthy, Jupiter in Taurus. So that was immediately clear. And I was like, okay, let me check the moon as well, because I kept it, it's very clear now which of the two properties she'll get. And I said, just let me check the moon as well. And her moon is in Aries. And as you will see from my course, which is only 4 hours long and $20, again, as I say, uh, Aries in ancient Vedic astrology, they gave the environment of rocks, of rocky places, because rams they climb rocky places. And I said, which of the two places is on rocks, on near rocks? And she said, again, the one with the swimming pool. Right after the garden, green space. After that is the cliffs, rocks, and then is the ocean. So it's on a rocky place. You see rocks. So I said, okay, this is your place. And she's bought it. She's been here 12 years already, living, loving it. But she also has three, four other properties as well, which can be found in the same way, exactly in the same way, but through different significators of the planets. Because she, for example, bought another property which is which is in the capital, because the ruler is with the sun as well in the same sign conjunct. The ruler of the fourth house is with the sun. So her other property is in the central place. But again, I said because it's in Taurus, it should be in the suburbs, more on the outside where there is nature. She said exactly nature, because Jupiter is there. And I was thinking, is there wealthy neighbors? Yes, there is. And I said, is it elevated? Jupiter is elevated from above. Yes, absolutely, it is elevated. I said, is there foreigners there? Jupiter is foreigners and multicultural. She said, yes, there is wealthy people, foreigners. It's elevated. So again, it's and it's, of course, the moon in Aries. Aries is mountains and rocks. It's exactly in the mountains, in the capital. Mountains, Aries capital, the sun with the ruler of the fourth house. So you see how it is super incredible, very easy way to find out. And I wanted to show you very quickly someone else, uh, another different example, but I don't really know how her homes look, but I know where she's lived, in what environments. I will share you the chart, uh, and it's very simple, really. Just a second. Share. So this is the chart of someone. She's lived all her life abroad, pretty much since she was 18. And she's always lived in capital cities. Why? Because her fourth house cusp is in Leo. As you hear, Leo can also mean forest, jungles, and where wild cats go, but it also means capital, the center, or something like that. So she's always lived in Sofia, capital Bulgaria, in London, in Athens, all capitals. Then I decided to look at the ruler, the sun, and the sun is in Sagittarius. And when you read when you watch my video, that my webinar, you see Sagittarius is foreign, can be foreign environment. She's always lived foreign countries. Then I decided to look at the ruler of her ascendant, what environment she'll find herself in. Well, it's Mercury. Sagittarius, foreign environments. I decided to look at what is her highest degree planet. Her highest degree planet is Jupiter. Remember, I told you not to look at Neptune, Pluto, and Uranus. From the traditional seven planets, is Jupiter. It's again in Sagittarius. She found herself so three, the ruler of the fourth house, the ruler of the ascendant, her soul planet, all put in Sagittarius, foreign places, foreign multicultural environments. So it's very easy sometimes, you know. And her moon is in Cancer. And when she was buying her property in London, looking for to rent something like that, she was saying, "Give me more." Okay, I know I'm in a foreign country. Give me more. And I was like, "Okay, your moon is in Cancer. Is it close to the river? Because cancers can be connected to that." And she says, "Okay." And she chose the one that was closer to the river than the others. And because the sun, the ruler of the fourth house, is with Jupiter in the same sign, well, wealthy neighborhoods. And she chose a wealthy neighborhood, is with Uranus. And I said, there is either like a cell tower there, or there is like some tech hub, you know, or specific materials. I even taught her what the house can be made out of. How, if is it more glass or whatever. So it's incredible how this method can be used and how the houses look. So can show you my little brother, for example, as well. Uh, da, 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 da. He has one property only. But fourth house cusp, Libra, very beautiful. Libra is very something beautiful, well designed. It's like it's designer apartment. Where is it? Libra in ancient text, as you'll see from the webinar, is sprawling cities around which trade has developed. Trade, where there is trade, where there is things are moving and bustling. So they live exactly in such sprawling city that develop around trade. And I saw the moon is in Cancer. I said, you have to be near water. Is there like a water fountain or whatever? No, I didn't ask him. I know where he lives. I got him the property. It's by the seaside as well. And the ruler of the fourth house is Venus. Venus rules Libra. It's in Virgo, extremely clean house, Virgo. Everything is color coordinated, great attention to detail, and it is even the colors of the clothes, how they're arranged, is very color coordinated. And when they were choosing the flat to buy it, because I was helping them there, I said, okay, it needs to be near, might be near pharmacy, Virgo, or it might be near schools, Mercury here. And that's exactly actually the property that they chose. It was near, it's next to schools. And I said, oh, maybe more neighbors, Mercury there, and young families, Mercury again, with children, and Virgo. And I said, it needs to be close to your work. So his wife works in a pharmacy right next to the house, because Virgo, when the rule of the fourth house is in Virgo or in the sixth house, the home needs to be close to the place of work or working there. While my brother himself works from the home, so he has an office there. So you see how, and because the moon is in the 12th house, there might be possibly even foreign residents in the future. We will see. But it's very simple, very fast way to see to help you, whether when you're choosing property to rent, to buy, which are your environments. Like I have Pluto influence on my fourth house ruler, and my best, happiest places actually that I ever lived in and that I live in by two Plutonian places, which is one is ancient ruins, this place that I'm here right now, right in front of me. It's next to my sister-in-law, actually. It's right by ancient ruins. And the other one is right next to cemetery. The Pluto influence is there in both places. And or haunted houses, you know. Anyway, I hope you enjoy that. It's very simple. It's great practical tool to use. This webinar was so much fun for me to do, going through people that I known and worked with and telling their stories and giving for each, going sign by sign, planet by planet. I think you'd enjoy it a lot. So check it out in the description below. Thank you.